Don't turn that dial.
A dangerous mistake to make.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive. Returns right now on WCPT 820.
Joining us now is Congressman Brad Schneider, who represents the 10th District in Illinois and who will be in the gallery with Congresswoman Robin Kelly tonight as Donald Trump makes his address to both chambers. Congressman Schneider, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Joan.
I asked Robin Kelly this. What do you think is the most effective way for you and other Democrats to be right now? Should you be out on the streets in front of some of the buildings trying to get in, like Jonathan Jackson and Maxwell Frost, taking to social media on a regular basis, as we've seen some of the younger Congress people do, trying to get on the Sunday shows or Fox Cable? What is the best strategy? What is the strategy you are employing now?
Great question. The short answer is we have to do all of those things. The key piece of that is, and I'll speak to House Democrats, we have 215 Democrats in the House, and some are really good at doing the social media, and they're doing that. Some of us do social media, and we're doing direct-to-camera videos, posting our working committees and on the speeches on the floor, et cetera. And that's 215 Democrats in the House. We got a whole lot of people at home who are also out and making sure their voices are heard. What I've been telling people is we have to hold on to three things. Number one is we have to keep our faith in what it means to be America, our vision for our country and for our future, the ideals established in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, and our belief that we are a country that takes care of our neighbors. The second thing is we have to be resolutely defiant. No matter what comes at us, we have to remain standing tall and standing proud, and we have to persevere. President Trump has a strategy, and those around him, of flooding the zone, trying to throw as many awful things at us at one time. We can't let it knock us down, or when we do get knocked down, we have to get back up right away and fight today, fight tomorrow, fight every day for the values that we care about, the people who are depending on us.
You know, one of my neighbors was able to be on your telephone town hall recently, and they said that, you addressed the crowd and said, look, what do you want from me? Do you want me to go along with what Republicans are doing? Do you want me to try to work in a bipartisan way, or do you want me to oppose everything that's going on? And my next-door neighbor said that the majority of people responded that they wanted you to move forward in a bipartisan way. But, Brad, is that even possible? If the other side doesn't want to play with you, if the other side doesn't want to talk to you, is that even possible?
Yeah, let me touch on that. We did a telephone town hall last month. We've got another one coming up on Monday the 10th. We had 11,000 people on that phone call. There's no venue in the 10th district where we can bring 11,000 people together to hear from neighbors and to listen to as I answer their questions. We also did a poll, so let me clear that. And we asked the folks who were on the call, do they want Congress to work in a bipartisan way? Do they think Congress should work in a hyperpartisan way, or they don't know? And the majority said they want to see a Congress that works on their behalf in a bipartisan way. But to your question, that's not possible right now. The Republicans have made it very clear they want nothing to do with the Democrats. They want to ram down their agenda to put burdens on working families, to cut the budget they passed last week, $880 billion out of the Energy and Commerce Committee. The bulk of that has to come out of Medicaid. 70 million Americans rely on Medicaid for their health care. 40% of the babies born in the country are born covered by Medicaid. This is a horrific agenda. We're not going to enable it. So it's very hard to envision how there might be a prospect for bipartisan effort. That said, if the Republicans wanted to come to the table and put out ideas that are going to benefit people, going to lower the prices at the grocery store, make housing more affordable. Those would all be things that Democrats would sit down and talk to our colleagues about. But that's not what they're interested. They're taking their instructions maybe from Donald Trump, more likely from Elon Musk. He's going to be here tomorrow night talking to the Republican conference, telling them what to do.
Is Elon Musk going to be in the chamber? Is he going to be like there as a guest of Trump?
I believe he's going to be in the chamber tonight. That's the story. But what really stunned me is tomorrow night he is meeting with all of the Republicans, congressional Republicans together. Mike Johnson has him coming. And I don't think he's coming to listen. That's not Musk's style. He's coming to instruct.
Good grief. You know, I understand in his first term as president that Donald Trump was the only people he really wanted to listen to were his friends who were richer than he was. Supposedly, he used to call them and ask for advice. So we know he is certainly enamored of Elon Musk's wealth. But I cannot believe that he is letting Elon Musk take the reins. Is he that cowed by Elon Musk? Is he that indebted to Elon Musk? Or is he more senile than we've been led to believe?
I hadn't thought about that last part, but what I'll tell you is we've seen Trump throughout his lifetime, but certainly his first administration. As you said, he cozied up to billionaires, but he also cozied up to strongmen, folks like Vladimir Putin and Viktor Orban of Hungary. And you're putting the two together. What we know about Russia, and part of what brought Russia's economic ruin, is it's overtaken by oligarchs. And Elon Musk is behaving like an oligarch. Donald Trump is acting like he wants to be a dictator, and we should give every American concern. That's why it's so important, as we started this conversation, that all of us stand strong, we stand together, and we are resolutely defiant, because we can't let Elon Musk dismantle our government. We can't let Donald Trump overturn our Constitution.
What can people, just, your constituents, people like me, okay, well, set aside for a minute the radio show, but, what should we be doing? Should we be marching? Should we be writing stern letters? It's sort of, I know that there's a lot of stuff out there. There are boycotts, there are protests, there are marches. Again, would the correct answer, Brad, be all of the above?
The answer is all of the above, but I'll give some ideas. The budget the Republicans passed last week is a major threat to Medicaid. If those cuts go through with Medicaid, you're going to see hospitals like Mount Sinai in Chicago really struggle to take care of the patients that depend on it. We should be gathering in front of places like that, showing our support, rallying in support of people who depend on Medicaid for health care, standing in front of the places where veterans are served, rallying in support of our veterans, people who served our nation, put their lives on the line for our freedoms, and are now being told by Elon Musk that we don't care about you. We should be demanding that the Social Security offices remain open. They're closing offices in Illinois and across the country. It's going to make it harder for people to get the benefits that they've earned over a lifetime of work and that they depend on in their retirement. Every one of these things, and every day we're going to need to just stand and persevere, because Trump and his allies in the Republican-controlled House and Senate are going to continue to put burden upon burden upon burden. We face a potential shutdown next Friday. Democrats don't have the power to shut down the government. The Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. They're going to choose whether the government stays open or shuts down. And we need to make our voices heard to say that we need to pass the budget the funding for what is fiscal year 2025 that started almost 6 months ago on October 1st.
I've read some people who speculate that maybe, even though it's a Republican-controlled Senate, that the Senate will maybe soften some of the worst of what's in the congressional budget. Do you believe that?
I hope so. You saw, look, the last Tuesday when the House was trying to pass this god-awful budget, they didn't have the votes. They sent everyone home. And then as it was reported, President Trump got on the phone and was screaming at people. One report I heard was that you could hear his voice through the phone, through the door. Ew. And eventually they got the votes they needed. All but one voted for this budget, and the one who didn't vote for it because it wasn't severe enough. So I don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. I don't know what influence the president has in the Senate. It is supposed to be a deliberative body. But remember, the Senate approved Kash Patel for the FBI.
I was just going to say, they certainly didn't stand up to any of his cabinet nominees.
Not a one. Not a one.
So we shouldn't maybe have a lot of faith that they're going to somehow save us when it comes to the budget.
No, we have to have our faith has to be in the American people. And, we have to recognize that President Trump won a majority of the vote, of the popular vote last year. He won not just some, but all of the swing states. But I don't think the people who voted for him voted for what he's doing. And we need to talk to our neighbors, talk to our people we work with, and get them to understand what's at stake and to join us in resisting what this administration is trying to do and restoring faith in our Constitution, upholding the rule of law, and moving forward to make sure that Trump does not undo what is soon to be 250 years of America.
Yeah. Who are you bringing as your guest tonight?
Thanks for asking. My guest is a gentleman named Adam Mulvey. He's a 20-year Army veteran, served 3 tours of duty in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan. He retired in 2019. He's a emergency management specialist. His role is preparing for scenarios like hurricanes, or in Illinois, he now works at Level Hospital, tornadoes, and God forbid, active shooter. But situations that are going to need an immediate and quick response, and making sure that the 35,000 veterans at Level are protected, 40,000 Navy recruits that come through Level on their way to basic training, all of the people on Naval Station Great Lakes and their families are taken care of in times of emergency. He was a probationary employee, which means that he was in his first year of service, 11 months. He was getting rave reviews, and in the middle of the night, he got an email from DOJ, from the Elon Musk team, that's saying, we no longer want your services, you're being terminated. And what's worse, it was a form letter went out to at least 6,000 veterans, thousands of federal workers, saying you're being terminated for performance. It had nothing to do with their performance. Mm-hmm. Their probationary status was a reflection of their tenure, not the reflection on the quality of their work. These were people like Adam, who had served our nation in uniform for 2 decades and wanted to continue to serve our nation and the veterans like him. And Elon Musk and his cronies said, we don't care about you. We don't want you. Goodbye.
I'm very worried about our country. And I know that the grassroots efforts are kind of just starting to take off now. But if people were able to mobilize in the first Trump term, I have every bit of faith that we will mobilize for a second Trump term. And I thank you for what you are doing in Congress.
Thank you. Thank you, John. We're seeing that mobilization. Like I said, I had 11,000 on a telephone town hall last month. I was talking to a colleague from Washington State. He had 13,000 last week. Another colleague from North Carolina had 19,000. These are massive turnouts. And we're going to be out in the district talking to people when folks see me. Stop me, say hello, tell me what's on your mind. And I promise you, if we stay together, we hold together, we stand, as I keep saying, resolutely defiant and persevering to protect the dream we have and the vision we have for our country. We're going to beat this back, and our first milestone will be flipping the House, and we need to do that.
I'm not asking you to reveal anybody's secrets, but please tell me that when you talk to some of your Republican colleagues, they understand how bat poop crazy this is?
They understand that parts and pieces of it. The president announced it. We were suspending aid to Ukraine. I'll be wearing a blue and yellow tie tonight to show my support for the people in Ukraine who are fighting for their independence. They are a relatively young 30-year-old democracy that was invaded by Russia, first in the Crimea in 2014, then again 3 years ago when Russia invaded in eastern Ukraine. And they are fighting against a totalitarian regime who doesn't respect the rule of law, the sovereignty and boundaries of another nation. We should be resolutely with Ukraine, and sadly this president has sought to align us with a totalitarian autocrat in Vladimir Putin. Hopefully he changes on that. We'll see what he says, but we just need to stay strong.
Thank you, Congressman Brad Schneider, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.